Keith Urban is a country music singer who has won Grammy Awards. He's someone who takes his pain and turns it into songs. He's not just famous for his music, but also for how he's loved, lost, and learned to get back up from hard times. And the CMA Award for Entertainer of the Year goes to Keith Urban. It was amazing to see someone who is so totally focused and doing so well. Right now, I think he's just in a really good place. After being married to Nicole Kidman for almost 20 years, their marriage ended quietly. Urban came back with a song called Love is Hard, where every note feels like something real that he couldn't say out loud. Let's look back at Keith Urban's story from his tough times to a love for music that never went away. But I don't even hear from you. Would you ever notice? Before becoming famous on the music charts, Urban had a difficult childhood. He got into music with a guitar, a dream, and his own kind of loneliness. But the more successful he became, the harder things got. Being lonely as an artist is different from regular people's loneliness. It's both loud and empty at the same time. Urban said he once thought drinking alcohol would help him feel peaceful, but it really just made his sadness worse. Being addicted almost destroyed his career. Sleepless nights, tours where everything was blurry, and worried friends made him realize he was losing who he really was. Care. Now you're going out. Deciding to go to rehab was both brave and like saving himself. At the treatment place, Urban thought about his past and admitted that he once didn't love himself enough to stay sober. And without that, he couldn't really love anyone else either. Coming back to the stage meant turning pain into music, singing with real honesty and strength that showed he had beaten his problems. When life started to get better, Keith Urban met Nicole Kidman, the woman who made him believe love could fix everything. Their marriage, which once looked quietly perfect, slowly fell apart because his constant touring and her movie work created two separate lives where the distance between them became emptiness. In recent years, rumors about them fighting started to come out. Even though both of them stayed quiet about it, they were still seen together at big events, still looking at each other tenderly. But behind all of that were problems that couldn't be fixed. Urban was a man who lived for the stage, full of emotion and doing things spontaneously, while Kidman needed things to be stable and quiet. Even so, they never let their problems become public drama. When their love wasn't complete anymore, they chose to separate in silence, a gentle but painful goodbye. In September 2025, a short press release was sent out. Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman ended their marriage after 19 years. No specific reason given, no blaming each other, just one line saying, "We asked for privacy for our family." The world went quiet. People who loved them, people who believed in lasting love in Hollywood, felt really sad. But for Urban, it was a turning point that wasn't easy to deal with. He stayed silent with the media, only appearing at performances that were already scheduled. During a concert in Denver, he said briefly that some things can't be held onto forever. Music would help us understand why we once loved. After the separation, Urban went back to a simpler life. He spent time with his two daughters, stayed away from parties and long interviews. Some reports said he had canceled a few shows. Others said he was going to therapy. Nobody knew for sure because he didn't talk about it. That silence seemed to be the only way he could keep some peace for himself. According to a friend who talked to Rolling Stone magazine, Urban was learning to accept things and let music show him the way. His later performances felt completely different. Urban didn't talk to the audience as much as he used to. Instead, he let the music tell the story. Each song was like a confession, a piece of his soul being let out. The audience wasn't just listening to songs. They were listening to a man trying to stand up after falling down. That's the special power of music. When words aren't enough, melodies speak for our feelings. From the wreckage and silence, Keith Urban came out as a changed person. He didn't try to run from pain anymore, but learned to face it, turning it all into music. Every song written since then felt like a story, not of someone who was defeated, but of someone who had lived, loved, and learned to let go. In the moments that seemed weakest, Urban found his strongest toughness. A love for music still burning quietly like a flame that never dies. The love that never dies. After all the chaos, The Keith Urban of today is no longer the young artist who once ran around Nashville with a guitar worn down by his fingers, or the dazzling star enjoying the spotlight of early fame. He's a man who's been through storms, who understands what peace and music are really worth. Now, in his 50s, Urban still chooses to stand on stage, not for fame, but because it's where he finds himself again. Many people thought that after his divorce from Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban would step back to rest or change what he did for work. But he didn't. Instead of closing himself off, he opened his heart more to music. The year 2025 became a special turning point in Urban's creative journey, where pain wasn't a wound anymore, but valuable material for writing a new chapter. In July 2025, Urban released the single Love Is Hard. As soon as it came out, the song made a big impact on the Billboard charts. Not just for its sad melody, but for how honest the lyrics were. Love is hard, but I will still love even if my heart breaks one more time, he sang. That voice didn't show off his skills anymore, but carried the sound of someone who had tasted both the sweet and bitter parts of life. Listeners felt the loneliness, but also a clear strength that refused to give up. The media called Love Is Hard the most grown-up song in Keith Urban's career. It didn't try to prove anything. It just told his real story. In the music video, Urban sat alone on an empty stage under soft light, playing the guitar gently, an image that reminded fans of the artist who had started everything so simply. Along with music, Keith Urban spent time with his small remaining family, his two daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. He thought being a father was the most important job of his life. Without a tight schedule, he stayed in Nashville, where his daughters went to school, so he could take them to school and have dinner together whenever he could. Friends said he wanted his children to see him as a regular father, not the image of a star. Still, his personal life never made him forget his mission as an artist. At the end of 2025, Urban said he was working on a new studio album expected to come out early next year. He described the project as a journey of healing and a new beginning. Beyond music, Urban stayed one of the most active artists in charity work. He regularly donated to funds that helped struggling musicians, school music programs, and cancer charities, the disease that had taken his beloved father. Many times, Urban quietly performed in hospitals or recovery centers without telling anyone ahead of time. Medical staff shared that he often stopped by to sing a few songs and thank everyone for listening. As of October 2025, Urban had sold over 15 million albums around the world, won more than 20 major music awards, and was listed among Billboard's top 50 most influential country artists of all time. But to him, numbers weren't the most important thing. In a recent interview, Urban said that the greatest success was still having the desire to write and the feeling when standing on stage. After walking through storms, he didn't look for glory anymore, just the truth of his passion. It's that honesty that has brought him back to the peak, where an artist needs no proof, only to sing with all his heart. The glory of a career. When Keith Urban arrived in Nashville, the capital of American country music, he had a simple belief. As long as music could touch people's hearts, he could last. From a young man born in New Zealand with wind-blown blonde hair, Urban became one of the most loved figures in modern country music. His story isn't just about success, but about finding himself in the middle of fame and learning to hold on to happiness in a world filled with too much light. The early 2000s were a turning point in Urban's career. After years of nonstop hard work, he released Golden Road, the album that changed everything. The lead single, Somebody Like You, became a huge hit, staying at #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart for 8 straight weeks. With its fun melody and heartfelt lyrics, the song took his name beyond country music to pop audiences. From that moment, he wasn't just a Nashville star anymore, but a global symbol of where tradition met modern times. That success didn't happen by accident. Urban stayed true to his own voice, mixing the authentic spirit of country with the youthful energy of pop rock. He wanted even people who had never listened to country music to find themselves in his songs. This openness made him a bridge between generations, helping the genre that ants thought was old-fashioned feel fresh and alive again. From Golden Road forward, his career really took off. The albums Be Here and Love Pain and the Whole Crazy Thing ruled the charts with hits like Days Go By, Better Life, and Tonight, I Wanna Cry. His elegant mix of electric guitar and traditional sounds made his music both exciting and deeply emotional. Tours across the United States and Europe soon turned him into one of the highest-earning country artists. He won 4 Grammy Awards, including Best Male Country Vocal Performance, along with dozens of honors from the CMA and ACM. Beyond performing, Urban became a judge on American Idol, helping hundreds of young contestants grow their dreams. With all his fame, he kept a humble and down-to-earth lifestyle, a quality that only made fans love him more. Then, at the height of his career, came something unexpected: Nicole Kidman. They met in 2005 at an event in Los Angeles. She was an Oscar-winning actress. He was a rising country star. 2 people from different worlds. They found in each other an unspoken harmony. I saw in her what I'd always been looking for: stillness. Urban once said. A year later, they got married in a warm church ceremony in Sydney, Australia. Their love story soon became a symbol of lasting romance between 2 artists. Kidman often spoke of Urban with thankfulness, saying he helped her find love and trust again after trouble. For Urban, her presence was an anchor, bringing peace and meaning to his life. Their 2 daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, completed the image of a rare, happy family in show business. Urban often said that Kidman made him a better man and helped him stay balanced. Fans saw him thank her in award speeches or mention her in songs with quiet affection. They appeared together at concerts, holding hands and smiling. A picture of love that people admired all over the world. Happiness in Hollywood was never easy. Urban's demanding tours and Kidman's film work meant long times apart. They learned to love across distances and always supported each other's art. When Urban went to rehab for alcohol addiction, Kidman stayed by his side, helping him through his darkest time. In 2018, Urban started the Graffiti U World Tour, attracting over 1 million fans around the globe. He wrote, performed, and supported emerging artists' music on stage. His energy and honesty made audiences feel he was singing directly to them. No wall between performer and listener. During this time, Urban became the face of several campaigns, promoting Australia's image, representing the harmony of talent, culture, and humanity. He joined many charitable efforts, donating to children's funds and cancer research, keeping his reputation as a caring and down-to-earth artist. Still, behind the bright lights and applause, maybe only he knew the cost. Fame wasn't all glory. The higher he climbed, the heavier the pressure became. And sometimes his passion itself felt like a chain. There are moments I think I'm singing to live, he once said. But in truth I sing to survive. Those words showed the inner struggle of a man who constantly fought to stay balanced between art and emotion. To understand how Keith Urban managed to stay strong in the middle of success and still keep his spirit clear, you have to look back to the beginning, to the boy in New Zealand who started writing songs with passion and his father's old wooden guitar. That same boy grew into a man whose music continues to bridge worlds between past and present, between pain and peace, between fame and the quiet search for truth. Urban's journey is more than a story of talent. It's the story of lasting power, love, and faith. A reminder that even in a life surrounded by light, the truest glow comes from within. Through every chord and lyric, Keith Urban continues to remind us that music at its heart is about survival, about finding yourself again and again, one song at a time. Brilliant beginnings. Before becoming a global country star, Keith Urban was a boy from the small town of Whangarei, New Zealand. Born into a modest Australian English family, his father, Robert, owned a motorcycle accessory shop. His mother, Marianne, was an accountant. Both loved music,